It's everything, it's nothing. It's life that we discussing. From touchdowns to takedowns, from hustling to bluffing, politics to passion. It's all about the journey. Flip the script on the world, never stop. We keep it dirty. Talking love, we talking loads. Everything you wanna know. From the top, we set the tone. This is the place to call you home. Welcome to everything but nothing, where every topic's on the table.
Well, shit, here we go. Episode 1. All right, well, shit, we'll pick up where we left off at. We were talking about immigration.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
This is y'all were talking about immigration.
I posed a question to Rich. My thought process was, well, my question was, what are your thought process on, especially you being from Jamaica, with people like yourself coming into America and with current immigration policies? How do you feel about it? I should say. What are your thought process on how do you feel about it and why?
Yeah, yeah, that's wild because my grandmother was like one of those real hardworking, humble people, right? So one of the few things she bragged about was bringing over, close to 60 people to this country, quote unquote, right? So currently today, when you sit back and you really think about how things are shaken out, it's scary to think that a lot of what's happening is because of, in my opinion, control power, right? They want to limit how and who gets in, and they want to kick a lot of people out so that they can balance things out and stay in power and keep that control. I don't view it as anything else. And it's funny that a lot of our black and brown brothers they only see it as they've latched onto that whole two-party thing where they don't have any perspective outside of themselves, and it's sad and scary to the point where where I've had real discussions like with the wife, like where would we go? It gets really ridiculous. Where would we go? So it's been that deep for me.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I to hit on the two-party system. I don't even understand why in America we do have a multiple party, but we only acknowledge two parties. That to me make no sense. That brings on its own set of problems. Because if you have a party and you need, if you have a two-party system and you need the backing of everyone, and you have lobbyists, you have need those two parties to be purchased and bought off, and that's what. As far as control, I don't get it. It seems like it's more about voting. 2049, 2050. There's going to be more. White people are minorities, and we're going to be majorities. And it's like you said, it's all about control. Ultimately, it's messed up, especially in a land of immigrants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was just talking to you last night about the two-party system. I don't think we should have every state has like we got governors or whatnot. Every state has a representative and they come up with their policies for education, healthcare, the economy, everything, every important thing that we need, to survive as a society. Then we narrow it down to like they have their debates throughout the year over the 4-year span or whatever, and you can like we narrow it down. Then whoever has the best policy for the country, nigga, that's gonna be the president. It don't matter if they're Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green, Tea Party, whatever it is they want to, grassroots, whatever, nigga. If you got the best idea for this country, that's who we're gonna run.
Yeah, they will never let that happen, though. Is my fear, right? It's like they think it will continuously be one of those things that they have to gerrymandering. That's been going on since the 70s, right? So black folks stay in 12 states. And those are the 12 states that you hear about gerrymandering happening, right? So they will always redraw the line, change the rules, move the goalposts, whatever necessary to have things in place that benefit the people that are paying, the rich people that have bought them out. And
Right.
and the rest of them, they are so duped by, like I told you, I had a conversation with, this is probably like 6-7 years ago, with 58-year-old dude. And he was hard down arguing for tax breaks for businesses and billionaires. And I was like, why do you care? Why do you care so much? That dude looked me in the face and said, yeah, I'm holding on to hope that one day I can make it there too. I looked at him and I said, you've got to be shitting.
Totally benefit.
I said, only way you get that rich is if you are some sort of genius that can beat the market, like Buffett and Ray Dalio and all them investing dudes, or you have an idea. You've been working in this skiff. Your vitamin D deficient ass been working in this skiff for longer than I have. Don't see the sun when you go to work, and don't see it when you leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you holding on to hope that you're gonna be a billionaire too, and that's why you want rules that benefit them. Make that make sense.
Yeah.
And so, as long as you have people out there like that, I said, wow. And it's because that's the way they party leans. I don't think there's a whole lot of hope in that, bro. So,
and it's retarded because most of the people who, like you say, it don't benefit him at all right now.
right.
The ones who, at least he may have been on track to get there one day if he had enough time. A lot of the people who fighting for these niggas will never get it, and they will never even get to where, I ain't gonna say our tax bracket because it'll never get to the point to where they even can smell it. Like, you got these hillbillies in the cold mountains up in West Virginia.
Yeah.
You know that's not gonna benefit you, but they rather see that than see. I see. I ain't gonna say black people. I'm gonna say niggas.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You know, because we got
with the hard R.
Yeah. Like we got black folks and niggas. They got white folks and white people. You know, it's two different things.
Right.
So.
Why us though? I've never understood like why you want to be left alone. We leave you. You want to be left alone. We leave you alone. We bring back in you let integration happen or whatever it happens. Why us? Why black and brown? I never understood that.
Because they know we are. They know for a fact we are superior. The only way they can hold on to that is by controlling the systems around us to keep us from tapping into that superiority and ruling them. I ain't gonna say ruling them, but just being better than them.
I don't think if we had the heart. I mean, if we had, I think we do have the opportunity. If we just not studying properly and the game, and we don't take the time out to understand the game. But I think if we ever have an opportunity to understand the game properly, I really believe the roles wouldn't be reversed in the same way. I think we would love, cherish, care.
Yeah, because we are empathetic people.
Yeah,
them some conniving ass motherfuckers. Like the white folks is treacherous.
Yes, treacherous is the word. I said it's a revenge thing since we banished them out of Africa to the Caucasus Mountains. Ever since that banishment, they've been plotting revenge That was about 20,000 years ago. It's like, yeah, we gonna get them darkies, boy. They're showing up and plotting, man. They're like, yeah, just wait, dog. Just wait till we get back.
And they pass that down in every generation.
Hey, that's it.
Yep.
It's sad, man. It's definitely sad.
Yeah,
For sure.
That's the times that we in, though, man. Let's see, we done went the. I was just gonna say. So with these SNAP benefits, now I ain't gonna say I'm okay because it do need to be revisited and how they distribute the SNAP benefits and stuff. Now I'll say because everybody don't need, I ain't gonna say everybody don't need it, they get it, but I think it should be, let's say, elderly and disabled. You're good. You rated, here you go. But if you able-bodied and you just don't want to do nothing, I'm gonna give you 3 years on these benefits. That first year, you get 100% of it. That second year, we're gonna drop it down to 50. That third year, you get a quarter of what you originally had. So you can start weaning yourself off with it, and you trying to make sure you're trying to do better. After that third year, if you ain't done nothing, that's on you.
What's the current policy on SNAP right now as far as staying on it or staying off it?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know I think it's an income threshold.
And I ask because I'm kind of different than what you thinking, Rich. I think that, well, I do agree with, weaning you off of it. I think SNAP has to be addressed, not necessarily from the people's perspective, but from the corporation perspective. Because if you allow corporations to continuously, I do believe in capitalism, but I think you got to cap capitalism at a certain time. And what I mean by that is, we take Atlanta, for example. There's 3 corporations here that runs the rental and the housing market. When you have companies coming in and saying, hey, I'm going to own 250,000 properties in this area, or 70,000 properties in this area, and controlling the rent and upping the rent for no apparent reason just to make money. You got insurance companies who's making, upwards of $100 billion in profits or $15 billion in profit. I'm not saying that you're not, this is a capitalistic society. I'm not saying that you shouldn't make your money. But if we're saying that you can do whatever you want, and then looking at the people and saying, hey, grab yourself by the bootstrap, I don't know what's the middle ground for that. I agree with you. Hey, you own it, then you gotta get off of it. But what's the middle ground? How do we get them to stop? Which I think you need to put a cap on it. And how do we get people to grab themselves by the bootstrap, especially, and I believe the data is 46% of Americans are on SNAP, some sort of benefit. So
yeah, I got a lot on this, man, because I agree with actually both of you guys, man. So Walmart should not be able to pay full-time employees a salary that they can still qualify for SNAP.
Yeah,
correct.
These billion-dollar corporations, they all have shareholders that they report to. Now because I've been a sales guy for a while now, so now I understand how this works. They will fire a couple of thousand people to see their shares go up, right? Because they have this year-over-year growth, and they have to show growth in revenue to those shareholders to keep them happy. So they are diabolically greedy. Doesn't matter. Whatever is necessary to get it done and get that growth and get those stocks and those shares going up, they will do it. The capitalist bit, I preach it. Some point it flipped from capitalist meant the 3 of us make donuts. I'm going to try and make the absolute best donut I can make to make sure that it sells. Because usually people are going to go for the best product, the best service. Hot dog delivery. So delivering glizzies. So if you got the best glizzy delivery service, right, you're gonna be in high demand. They gonna come. The people gonna come for you. But at a certain
They
point,
coming for your glizzy.
they're coming for the glizzy. So at a certain point, it flipped into how can we do this the cheapest so we can make the most money off of it? How can we market it? We can even lie about it and say that we got the best glizzies and best glizzy service. No one is trash, just in order to sell more of it, right? And
Yeah.
that
Trash
became
glizzy.
that became the slant that these companies take now. It's not even about making the best product. They'll sell something far inferior just to make more money off of it. It's like, oh yeah, you sold 1,000, I sold 1,000, but I got these parts from China, Indonesia, Australia, and I took a quarter to make the same thing that you took to make $1.
Right.
So yeah, I'm all for weaning people off, but and then there's also, I know this is gonna be left field, but we are policed different. So we got a lot of this is showing, like I think we looked up the numbers. It's probably about on Snap, it was about, I think we were settling at like 45% was probably white, right? Because there's a lot of them that are unidentified, right? And then it was about 25%, 22 to 25% that was black. And then another, like 20% that was Hispanic. So we got to factor in that we're policed different. Jamal gets out of jail. He did 4 years for something that, he could or could not have been really truly guilty of. He got a harsher sentence. He got, more time than anybody else. But let me see if I can clear this up. But yeah, they, I don't know, bro. It's crazy to think that guy gets out, he can't get a job. He can't vote. He can't get a job. He or she. What do they do? But I'm all for the, what you mean, like the weeding them off. I think we should have entire systems in place to help people be productive humans, citizens.
Right.
But we write off so much that seems like we're just starting to not care sometimes.
Yeah, they don't care. Not at all. If they don't affect their pockets, they do not care.
Yeah. Greed over everything. And that's why I say I do think, I think we all can agree on, hey, weaning people off. I do think with that being said, you got to have a level of how do I hate lobbyists. Although I know there's people that have lobbied on my behalf based upon being in the military. But I do think that sometimes we got to stop focusing on the greed, corporate greed, and put something back into, rebuilding America, rebuilding us as far as who we are. And we do have the potential of being great. But if we're going to allow corporate, if we're going to allow bailouts from GE getting bailouts and all these places, all these corporations getting bailouts from our tax money, and we're complaining about SNAP, I think that's the issue.
Which when you're right.
Yeah, so that's we got multiple companies, multiple corporations getting bailouts and then firing people. How you get help and fire people? And then, we complain about, people being on SNAP. And I'm not saying people should stay on SNAP forever, but I understand how it helped me. I understand when I was younger where, it put food on the table, seeing the dollar bills, the colorful dollar bills. I understand when I was younger, and I don't know the difference between SNAP and WIC, but, having the first, having my children and being on WIC, the first two being on WIC, and, when I finally had a little bit of money in my pocket, the third one wasn't necessary. He wasn't on WIC. And I don't know the major difference, but it'll still help.
Yeah.
It'll still help. So, Yeah, that's I'm all about helping people, but I definitely agree with you, Rich. I think that we need a timeline for it, and then what does that timeline look like? Hey, do we once you don't make it, do we let you starve? Do you And I think you should.
Right.
I really believe you should. If I put you on a timeline and you look like you did everything right but didn't excel, hey, you know what? Let me give you another 2 years.
Right.
If it's proven, and what does that metric look like? I don't know. But if it's not proven and you just said fuck it, like you gotta starve.
Yeah.
You gotta starve.
I was hoping to hold out the shutdown. I know this sounds terrible, but I was hoping that they was going to stay steadfast and hold out longer with this shutdown, and it was only because hunger makes you do something. Hunger makes you do different things. Hunger makes you look at stuff different. There's a lot of with all of the voting and the midterms and stuff going on right now. There is a lot of people a lot of white folks basically that had a change of heart.
Yeah.
And it was going to get worse.
Yeah. And you saw that in the elections that they just had.
Yeah. It was going to get worse. And I was like, this is where you see change. Money affects change, right? Having it or not having it. You can't eat.
But at the same time, let's say the shutdown did last longer. Like you say, people start starving.
Yep.
They're gonna resort to alternate means. So it's gonna be a lot of violence coming. Now, when the violence comes, now they get exactly what they want. I think that's what he wanted to do.
I think so
too. He
too.
wanted to shut it down long enough. We ain't giving these niggas no jobs. We ain't giving them no food. They're gonna resort to violence. Now I can send the military into these cities like I want to do. Yeah. And I think that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's just that's what I think.
Yeah. I think we was gonna see it. I think we were gonna see white people doing it. And I think that was gonna be the difference, but it was gonna be everybody that ain't got it. So it was gonna be, and that's again, we police different. So
but it really all, like you said, it all boils down to the have and the have not.
I think struggle evens out the playing field. So JP, I agree with you. I agree with you. Struggle, when you struggling, it ain't no longer about race. Yeah. We should have carried it a little bit longer, because then now I can see that the current administration don't necessarily care about the people.
They don't care about it. Yeah.
They don't. Right.
Yeah. And I do believe, and I'm not gonna say like boy said, hey, it takes a couple of gunshot victims to get somewhere. Although I understand the analogy, definitely, I'm not gonna say that, because I don't want to be a victim of unemployment in no way, shape, or form. But I do understand where he was going. In order to get somewhere and maintain something, it does take a level of Malcolm X by any means necessary. Yeah. And when you have administration that been, whether or not you're racist, you seem to look like it. When you have an administration that is going that way, now the people are starting to feel the effect of the economy. I think it does level it out. It levels everyone out, put everybody on the same playing field. It makes you think about your next action. It ain't the black man. It ain't the nigga that's fucking me over. It's that person upstairs.
It's that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, I do agree. I think we should have probably held out a little bit longer. But, eventually the plane was going to crash. It was a matter of probably a month or so. We was going to have probably, some devastation up in the air. And, and that's probably why, once that stopped. So
that's what the difference was.
Yeah,
exactly.
We talked about that too. Yeah, they were talking about, first they said 10%, then they were floating the idea of 20 or 30% over those 40 airports, Tampa being one of them.
Yeah.
And if they would have stopped that, American Airlines, United, all these big boys were going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Money talks.
Yep.
Y'all go fit. And that lets you know that the lefties are just as guilty.
Yep. Yeah.
It's all about the money, man. And it's
Yeah. The ones that have it, they get to make the decision. Hey, turn that back on.
Yeah.
Turn that
And-
channel back to the other channel that we just had it. I don't like this.
But to see the ones who said what it was, 8 of them, 8 Democrats.
Yeah.
Yep.
All of them was they not up for re-election.
Yep.
They finna go and hang it up and retire after they term. So they don't care. So they were like, all right, yeah, let me go and get this jump back rolling, man. They ain't got time to play with y'all.
That's it.
Yeah. So, and I really think what happened was, if you follow the money, somebody probably said, "Hey, listen, I will do something for you," and this is more speculation than anything. Let me, who runs the Democratic Party? Chuck Schumer.
Schumer. Yeah.
I think he was fed, and he then fed them. Say, "Hey, listen." I got to give in, and based upon me giving in, I'm gonna make you the sacrificial lamb.
Yep.
However, here's this, that, and the other to line up your pockets.
I can see that.
Oh yeah. I can see them getting paid on their way out.
Hey man, I know you're not running for re-election, but here you go. So
it's like that dude that got caught with $90,000 in the freezer when I was up there in DC, man. That was hilarious. I said, don't, and I was looking at the TV, don't let it be a brother. Don't let it be a brother. Oh man, it was a brother. I said, he had 90K in the freezer?
What was his name? The mayor? Was that mayor in DC?
Oh no, you talking about Mary Barrett. Mary Barrett.
Yeah.
Mary Barrett said, the bitch set me up.
Yeah. Dog, you cannot, don't badmouth Marion Barry in DC, boy. You better.
Oh, they still rock with Barry.
They love it. They rock with him. You're right. But yeah, it was a congressman that got caught.
Crackhead. That's an active crackhead.
That congressman got caught, man. But how many other politicians, man? I don't see.
Yep.
And you know what? I think people come in for the right reason. We just had a 22-year-old mayor for the city of Stockbridge here. And, black young man, 21 and 22. One that made me feel like, the fuck are my children doing and what the hell I'm doing? To be 22 and still having the political mindset to run for office and winning, I commend him. So I'm saying that to say this. I think most people come in with a pure heart of helping. But once that money touch, it's like a stripper saying, I want to go to college. So I'm here to do this. I start off with wanting to go to college.
15 years later.
Yep.
Coming to the stage, we got Diamond.
I'm in the champagne room sucking dick.
Coming to the stage.
With no degrees.
It's the champagne room.
Yep. That's what happens with most of our politicians. They come in with a pure heart wanting to go to college. Now they're sucking dick and receiving funds. So
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, that's that. I do got to jump off. If you can edit this off.
Yeah, you good. I got you. I appreciate you, bro. So, we'll get on. Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Please let me know. Let me know when the next time, man, and I'm here.
All right, I got you.
Hey, JP, finally, pleasure meeting you, man.
All right, good meet you.
We'll talk a lot about you. All right,
yeah, man.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
All right, big homie.
All right, bro. I appreciate you, bro.
It's everything, it's nothing. It's life that we discussing. From touchdowns to takedowns, from hustling to bluffing. Politics to passion. It's all about the journey. Flip the script on the world. Never stop, we keep it dirty. Talking love, we talking lows. Everything you want to know. From the top, we set the tone. This is the place to call you home. Welcome to everything but nothing. Where every topic's on the table. Let's get it.